Assalamu alaikum. I'm going to talk about the obligatory acts of prayer. As stated before, the pillar is a high level. If you skip them out, forgetfulness or ignorance, your prayer is valid. The obligatory parts of the prayer, omit them out of ignorance or forgetfulness, your prayer is intact and valid, but you have to compensate that with the sujood, the sahu, the prostration of forgetfulness, if remembering it whilst praying. If you forget it altogether and you without doing the prostration of forgetfulness, your prayer is still valid. The obligatory part of the prayer is the takbir, of moving from one position to another, and these include all takbir of salam without the exception of the first takbir, takbir ul-ikram. The Prophet ﷺ said, whenever you used to lead them in prayer, as Abu Huraira mentions, he used to offer takbir. He used to offer takbir whenever he goes down and rises again. This is what he did practically in front of the Tabi'een, one of the favourite generations, after finishing the prayer. I am the closest among you, similarly to what the Prophet ﷺ used to do. Number 2, the tasbih when bowing and prostrating, because when you bow, then there's a dhikr, Subhana Rabbiyal Azim, and then you prostrate and say Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. The Prophet ﷺ, as per the hadith of Amr ibn Uqba, he said, when the verse, so exalt the name of your Lord the Most Great, the Prophet ﷺ made it and said it when you bow, and when the surah A'la, make it when you prostrate. This instruction from the Prophet alongside his own action doing this is what he used to do according to the hadith of Hudayfa. He said, whilst describing the prayer of the Prophet ﷺ, when he bowed he said Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. When he prostrated he said Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, as reported by Imam Muslim. So this is the description of the Prophet and the structure of the Prophet's prayer ﷺ. The third mandatory act in your prayer is when you stand up, you say Sami Allahu liman hamidah. The person who says this is the Imam or the individual who is praying alone, not the follower who is praying behind the Imam. Does not say Sami Allahu liman hamidah, rather you say the Imam and the individual, and the follower say Rabbana wa lakal hamd. The Imam and the individual say both, but the follower only says Rabbana wa lakal hamd. And the hadith is of Abu Huraira that the Prophet ﷺ, when the Imam says Sami Allahu liman hamidah, they say Allahumma Rabbana wa lakal hamd. These are some versions. You can say Rabbana lakal hamd, Rabbana wa lakal hamd, and Allahumma Rabbana wa lakal hamd. Number 4, you have to understand that says Subhana Rabbiyal Azim during bowing, and Subhana Rabbiyal A'la during prostration, Rabbik Filli while sitting between the prostration. The minimum requirement is to say it once. If we say it once, Subhana Rabbiyal Azim, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la once, or Rabbik Filli once, you have done what is mandatory. To add over that, so if you say it 3 times, it is a sunnah. The best of sunnah, the minimum of the sunnah is to say it 3 times, and the best would say it 10 times. The 5th mandatory and obligatory actional part of the salah is to recite the first tashahhud and to sit for it. The Prophet ﷺ, when one of you sits following each 2 rakats, at-tahiyatu lillahi, and this is part of what is mandatory of the salah, you have to say. I leave you here for Manila. Wa sallallahu wa baraka ala nabina Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Astaghfirullah.